So boys and girls, today at Nursery we're going to read a book because the Scottish Government and Mr. Swinney, who's in charge of teaching things, he's recommended a book for us to read, and it's called What Makes a Baby. So let's read the book together. This is a story about how babies are made. The first thing you need to know is that you can't make a baby out of nothing. You have to start with something. This is an egg. Not all bodies have eggs in them. Some do, and some do not. Yes, Peter? Does your body have eggs in it? Well, who knows? It might do, it might not. And Samantha? Again, I don't know. It might do, it might not. How do you find out? Well, maybe ask a doctor when you're older. Anyway, some bodies have eggs in them, some don't. Inside the egg are so many stories all about the body the egg came from. Stories. Now in the egg, now boys and girls, just say there are not really stories. It's DNA. There's a little picture at the bottom there of DNA. Then above the picture of DNA, boys and girls, there's pictures of people like puppets on strings. Now, to me, that seems to be like it's hinting at the philosophy of genetic determinism. What do you think about that, boys and girls? Looking a bit blank. Well, maybe save that until next year when you're 4, and we'll talk about that again. Right, what have we got next? This is a sperm. Not all bodies have sperm in them. Some do, some do not. Okay, put your hands down, Okay, we don't want any questions at this point. Okay, inside the sperm, just like inside the egg, there are so many stories about the body the sperm came from. Okay, I don't know what a cut down tree's got to do with this, but anyway, boys and girls, so that's a bit like the egg, isn't it? Now we'll get on to the important bit, boys and I keep saying boys and girls, don't I? Sorry, learners. When grown-ups want to make a baby, they need to get an egg from one body and a sperm from another body. Where do they get them from? Well, it doesn't matter where they get them from. All that matters is you get a sperm from one body, an egg from another body. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter who or how you get them. You just need the right ingredients. It's like making a cake. They also need a place where the baby can grow. This is a uterus. It is a place where a baby can grow. You might think that everyone has a uterus since it has the words you and us in it. But not everyone has a uterus. Yes, Peter? Look, I don't know if you have a uterus or not, do I? Some people do, some people don't. Okay. Just like eggs and just like sperm, some bodies have a uterus and some bodies do not. Every body that has a uterus always has it in the same place, just below the belly button in the squishy middle part. Yes, Peter, that's right. If you've got a uterus, that's where it'll be, just below your belly button. Oh, Peter, of course you haven't got a uterus, you're a boy. Oh, sorry. Right, sorry, can you just forget that? Just ignore that. Pretend I didn't say that. Sorry, that just slipped out, boys and girls. Let's keep that as our little secret. Right, some bodies have uteruses, some don't. That's all there is to say on the matter. Right, when an egg and a sperm meet, they swirl together in a special kind of dance. As they dance, they talk to each other. They don't really talk, but anyway. The egg tells the sperm all the stories it has to tell about the body it came from. And the sperm tells the egg all the stories it has to tell about the body it came from. When their dance is done, they're not two things anymore. They danced around and shared so much that they became one brand new thing. At first, it's just a tiny thing. Sometimes this tiny thing does not grow. And sometimes it grows into a baby, like you did. Now this tiny little thing doesn't sound like anything very important, does it? It's just a tiny thing that might grow, it might not. Now later on, learners, when you're older, we'll teach you about abortion. And you just remember, this tiny thing that's made, it's not really very important. Who helped bring together the sperm and egg that made you? Yes, Joanne? Was it your mum and dad? Well, how should I know? I've got absolutely no idea. I'm not going to take a wild guess like that. You need to go and ask them. Sometimes the baby is ready to come out on its own. Sometimes a midwife or a doctor will be the one to say it's time for a baby to be born. No matter who decides, the baby does not just hop out by itself. Some babies are born by coming out through a part of the body that most people call the vagina. Yeah, Freddie, we don't want to talk about what other people call it. You can ask at home about that. And other times, doctors will make a special opening below the belly button, take the baby out, and then close up the hole. So, young learners, you can see here we've got a picture of a surgical procedure with the, this said the woman, the mum's, the pregnant person's stomach with a big gash in it. And in actual life, there'd be lots of blood, etc. But that's another way that babies come out. Mr. Swinney thinks it's very important that as 3 and 4 year olds, you see illustrations of surgical procedures like this. Whichever way the baby comes out, it's a pretty big deal for the baby. It's also a pretty big deal for the people who waited and waited and waited for the baby to be born. Now, so let's just clarify where we've got to, boys and girls. The sperm comes from one person, the egg comes from another person, then you need a person with a uterus for the baby to grow in. But the really important people when it comes to the time of birth are the people who've been waiting for the baby to be born. So they might be nothing to do with these other people, but it's the people who are waiting that are the important ones. Who was waiting for you to be born? Now, some people in the olden days might have said, oh, it'll be your family, it'll be your relatives. But we've moved on from that now, boys and girls. We know that the important people when you're born are the waiters, the people who are waiting for you to be born. That book's on the recommended reading list for ages 3 to 5 in nurseries and primary schools in Scotland. The book, What Makes a Baby, is described like this in the Scottish Government's curriculum. A book for every kind of family, every kind of kid. A children's picture book about conception, gestation and birth, inclusive of all kinds of kids, adults and families, regardless of how many people were involved, their orientation, gender and other identity or family composition. The story does not gender people or body parts, so people can apply their own family experience to the text. What this amounts to is an attack on the ideal of natural family. It wants to relativize natural family, to undermine the idea that mum and dad having sex, producing children, is somehow normal. Now, they claim that the idea of this sort of book is to help kids to understand themselves and to understand each other. Now, if you've got a kid who's been produced by some unorthodox means, the carers for that kid can explain about that when they want to. Now, they'd also say, well, we need everyone else in the class to understand too, if, say, you've got a kid with same-sex parents or single parent or whatever. But at this stage, is that really necessary? Do you really want a 4-year-old going to another 4-year-old in nursery saying, where did the sperm come from to make you? I mean, it's too young. It's not really about helping the kids to understand each other. If it was, they'd also be very concerned about trying to help children who'd been adopted. That's probably much more common than some of these other things, and yet it doesn't get a mention in this sort of book. What they're trying to do is to bring up a generation of kids free from heteronormativity, as they call it. In other words, free from the assumption that a man and woman having sex is the natural, normal and best way to have kids and to start a family. Instead, they want to give the message that anyone can make a baby. All you need are the right ingredients. You don't need any sort of relationship or any relationship at all. You just need the appropriate raw material. Now, years ago, maybe back in the 60s, the link between parenthood and marriage was broken. Since then, the link between being in a heterosexual relationship even and parenthood has been broken. And what we've got here is the link between being in any sort of relationship and parenthood being broken. What's the next step? You can imagine if someone wants a baby, they'll maybe get a sperm donor, an egg donor, and a surrogate mother, and have nothing to do with it at all. Then the next step after that is, well, someone else can make all the arrangements for you, and you just get the baby delivered, so to speak. So according to this philosophy, if you decide you'd like a baby, that's fine, no problem. Doesn't matter what circumstances you're in. Now, we believe that families are the building block of a healthy society. They fit together and build a strong structure for the benefit of everyone. But people who are promoting this other agenda, it's not about building a strong society. It's about letting adults pursue their own desires regardless of the implications for children and wider societies. And basically, this is a big part of the LGBT agenda. Thinking back years ago when same-sex marriage was introduced, people probably, in a lot of cases, didn't realise the full implications of it. But what we see here is the philosophy being worked out. Same-sex marriage introduced the idea that the sex doesn't matter. You don't need a man and a woman to have children and produce a family. The sex has got no importance at all. And what we've got in this book is the sort of end game of that philosophy. I mean, ultimately, they're trying to destroy all distinctions between sexes. They're obviously going to fail doing that, but they might do a lot of damage trying. So the SNP is using our children in their experiment with radical LGBT ideology. And the other parties in the Scottish Parliament are just happy to let them get on with it. If you want to see this challenged, you need to support the Scottish Family Party by joining us via the link below. Thanks for watching.